Okay, we're rolling. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to our HappyBasins jungle room. I am here with our precious little Poseidon, Aphrodite, Osiris, Peo for short. And Peo is 8.5 months old today, exactly 8 months and 2 weeks old today. Peo's taking a little bit longer than normal to turn green. Not more than normal. He's still within the normal range. A lot of these guys are already green by maybe this age. And Peo, I hope you can see, is just starting to get some green here. I've been having a lot of questions lately, especially from Saran, wanting to know all kinds of updates about Peo. For those of you who don't know, Peo was born to us. Usually the mothers of these are pregnant. They give live birth, so they're pregnant for a long time, usually around about 150 to 165 days or so, but they are still within the normal range if they stay pregnant for up to 180 days. Well, Peo's mother Isis gave birth to Peo at 192 days, so she had a little bit extra long gestation period. And even though Peo and his brothers and sisters were taking longer to be born, they were born premature. And out of 8 babies, Peo was our survivor. We had some complications during the pregnancy, which is how we built the most amazing community around this little baby's birth. We had so many of you out there rooting for Isis to have a good labor and a good childbearing experience. And due to who knows, different circumstances that we can name or circumstances we have no idea about, including one could have been that Isis just didn't become pregnant until a little bit later than we thought, because they don't always follow the exact signs and patterns of pregnancy. So however it worked out, this baby Peo was born premature. I wasn't really sure about Peo being born premature until we had our last litter. And the babies of that litter were so much larger than Peo. You can see the shed from one of these babies. Their very first shed was significantly larger than Peo's second shed. So we definitely see a huge size difference and also a difference in the size of food they can eat. When Peo was first born, she was not eating, and she's going to unravel for us here, and I'm going to show you why we're calling her a she now. She was not eating. We waited a whole month. We tried all different kinds of little food items for her, live, extra heated, frozen, defrosted. We tried baby quail, little button quail, rats, mice, hamsters. We tried everything. And little Peo was not going to eat. And it's common that people have these little babies and they don't eat. Usually you try to feed them right after their first shed. But in Peo's case, he didn't eat until he was a month old. And he ate with assistance. So what that means is that we kept Peo on a little perch just like this for her first meal. And Larry kind of held her body, which we realized later we don't even need to do that. You just keep her right here on her little perch. And I just took the little frozen, defrosted, little tiny pinky mouse. It was very small. Well, first I tried the proper size that she was supposed to be eating, like a little fuzzy, and realized very quickly that when you're assist feeding, it's much better to use a prey that's much smaller than the animal can handle. So we learned that right off the bat. We had all different sizes in the freezer. So we went and got the littlest one. And we defrosted them really nice, made them just a little bit warm, not hot like we would normally offer, because we'd already tried that over and over again. So I just warmed it up just a bit so it was a little bit warmer than room temperature. And I took the little baby Pinky and I kind of very gently put the little thing in between Peo's lips until she opened her mouth. And as soon as she opened her mouth, I put the little tiny thing's snout back into her throat, and she literally just swallowed it. It was super easy. So then we learned that there's a thing that people call chain feeding. When you're giving them a prey that's much too small, once they start swallowing that prey and their mouth is still open, you can just put another little tiny one behind it. So Peo had her first 3 meals that way with assistance. The first one was just a pinky, and then about 10 days later, well, probably about 7 days later, we tried to see if she wanted anything frozen, defrosted, heated. Then we tried live again. So we just continuously kept trying things. Well, about 10 days later, she didn't eat yet, and I had such an easy experience assist feeding her the first time that I decided to just go ahead and do it again. And that's what we did. And that time, I did the little chain feeding and put 2 little pinkies in there. And then the third time, exact same process. We tried frozen, defrosted, heated. We tried live, different little things. I even got a mama rat. I actually got 2 mama rats from a girl on the reptile page here in my area in central Arkansas. And she gave me 1 mama rat that had fresh little babies, and then another one who was about to have babies. And so we had a nice supply of fresh little babies to feed Peo. At that time, we hadn't started, we were trying to raise hamsters, but we hadn't had enough babies because they have to be ready at a certain amount of time. You only have a few days with those little hamsters. They grow so fast. So we hadn't had the hamsters at that point. So Peo was eating really, really, really good with the assist feeding. And then Peo's 4th meal, she just took it. She went down and gobbled it up. So I gave her a second one and she gobbled that up. And this little animal right here will gobble up a meal. I could literally hold a little. Now she has hamsters. We have a whole hamster farm now, and she has an unlimited supply of hamsters. We haven't even tried frozen defrosted again, or with our new babies. We decided that we have the hamsters and there's no reason not to spoil them. We're really enjoying spoiling them, and that's perfectly fine for us. And with Peo, I could right this second if I wanted to, but nobody wants to see that. But I could go get one of those little hamsters and hold it in my hand, and Peo will eat it from me. She is such a good eater, and she will eat way too much, we've learned, because with these new babies that we have, every time someone wouldn't eat something, we were giving it to Peo. But we realized quickly that she will just keep eating everything we give her, and she can't have all the leftovers from the babies. So I'll just give you a little quickie on the babies, is what I've started doing with the babies is if they don't eat their little hamsters on the night they're supposed to, because I can't give them to Peo anymore, and I can't put the little hamster back in with its family because the parents will eat him once he's already been gone. And I don't want to waste the hamsters on the king snakes who could eat them, because they can eat anything. So what I've taken to doing now is the babies eat perfectly fine, but if they don't eat on the night I want them to, then the next morning I assist feed them. So I have really taken to assist feeding babies, and I actually just love doing it. But I always do try to feed them naturally first, and they usually take it. It's just if they don't take it on that night, I assist them. And we're trying to feed them about once every 5 to 7 days right now. And the babies are, I think they're about 7 or 8 weeks old now. But Peo, at 8.5 months old, will take her food however I give it to her. If I want to hold her and have her eat out of my hand, she will. If I want to just leave it in her enclosure and shut the door and go to bed, I can do that too. No matter what we do, this little thing right here will eat. So people want to know, how long is she? How much does she weigh? We have actually never weighed her, and we have never measured her. So today I have all the tools here, and I'm going to do that with you guys so that next time you ask me, I will be able to tell you. You can see, hopefully you have some visual here, that Peo is starting to turn green. She was born a very dark reddish color, almost brown. And now she then she got like a really nice orange color, which you can kind of see still in her tail right here. And we'll see if I edit this video and put some pictures in there with it. I'll try to add some pictures of her through the last months. But Peo has the soaker hose vines, just like everybody else in our jungle room. And she also has some really nice plants that she loves. Her favorite place to sleep in her enclosure is directly under the sprinkler. If you guys watch the posts I make about her on Facebook, you'll be able to see that she has been sleeping under that sprinkler for a long time, most of her life. She was born in the rain, which is how she got the Poseidon part of her name. And I should explain that real quick too, for those who don't know, is that Poseidon, Aphrodite, Osiris, her full name came from the community that brought her into existence with all of their love. And Poseidon came from her being born in the rain shower. And that one came from my brother, Tim Gard. And then Aphrodite, I think Erica from Snakes on Plains. Sorry, Erica, I can't remember exactly. Plains Snakes. I remember your logo. I can't remember how it's worded. But Erica came up with Aphrodite for all of the love that Peo has. And I could be wrong on who came up with which name, because then somebody came back with Osiris, which Osiris was a god that defeated death. So Poseidon, Aphrodite, Osiris. It was just the perfect name for this little thing. I don't know how many snake babies there are out there with a double hyphenated name, but Peo's got that full beautiful name, and we took the acronym Peo, P-A-O, for short, so we don't have to say Poseidon, Aphrodite, Osiris every single time. And I know that Tara's going to be super proud of me because I know I said Osiris right. It took me a long time. So Peo is, I don't know how long she is. I have not, like I said, I've never measured her. She is just absolutely as sweet as she can be. People ask me, are you going to let your baby be part of your ambassador program? Well, guess what? This baby already is part of our ambassador program. I cannot tell you how many different people have held Peo. Every time, of course, it's been a very gentle and amazing experience for the people holding Peo, and Peo never seems to mind. She's always very relaxed and content, and relaxed and content is the definition of happy. Peo likes to stay mostly wound around this 1/4 inch soaker hose, as well as around some of the branches in her little plant. And I don't exactly remember what kind of plant is her favorite in there, but it's a real viney plant, and it's not a pothos. So I can't tell you exactly what it is, but she will go on any plant. And she's very curious. As you can see right now, she's looking at the vines on the ceiling, and she would really like to get up there. I feel terrible to say that I really don't know how many sheds she's had. I've kept most of them. A couple of them we didn't see in there, and so they got dry, like all coiled up the way she had it. And I wet one of them to try to straighten it out and ripped it. But she sheds beautifully, and every time she sheds, her little stripe gets more distinguished, which you can see right here. And I know we haven't done the best job keeping documentation on her. She's just been so easy and done everything so wonderfully that we really didn't think about documenting every little thing. We have just been thoroughly enjoying this little animal. She does not seem to mind being held whatsoever. When we do any work inside of her enclosure, she brings her head out and watches us. She tries to come over by our hands wherever they are. She has never once struck at anybody as though she were going to bite them. She just is a real little love baby. And we are super excited to watch her turn green. It's going to be weird. Like, you know, like she's really growing up when she turns green. And I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. I'm sure I'll enjoy every stage of her life, but I love her so much just to being a little baby. So I'm so glad we have our little new litter of babies so I don't have to lose that. And also we have another litter of babies that should be up and coming here in maybe about 160 days or less. And we also have another breeding project. So we have so many babies coming to us here at HappyBasins. It's very exciting. All right, so I'm going to pick Peo up. We're going to measure her. Oh, also another question I got is, what does Peo get for enrichment? Well, Peo has all of her vine systems and her plants. She loves the rain chamber. If you guys follow Peo, you will be able to see her in the rain chamber a lot. We just put it on a very gentle, warm rain. Her enclosure temperature, she's usually between about 83 to 85 degrees, although we do keep her enclosure at 89. But that's only because it's a little bit bigger enclosure, and that 89 is all the way up by her heat panel. So she keeps her body temperature in the low to mid 80s. You can really see that green coming in here. So Peo, do you want us to measure you and see how much you weigh? Will that be okay with you? She's like, I don't care. Do whatever you want. She really is just that sweet. All right, so I have this little scale here, and I also have this tape measure. I figured this would be easiest. I'm not going to stretch her out, but we'll see if we can get her to slither naturally along the tape measure and just kind of see how it goes. My precious little thing. And it's not common to handle these kind of snakes as babies. It's really not that common to handle these kind of snakes, period. But as you guys know, we do things a little different here on our HappyBasins farm. So Peo does get held. All right, so I'm gonna actually turn this around to you guys. Let's see what we have here. I've actually never used this, so if we need a little help from Larry, it'll be easy because he's standing right behind the camera. All right, so let me just put a pencil on here to see it's working. All right, sweet little thing, I'm gonna set you down, okay? I'm gonna set you down. And once we get her like kind of stretched out to measure her, I'll show you guys why we are pretty sure that Peo's a girl. It's okay, little sweet. She's holding on to me. I love it when she holds on to me. You'll probably be able to see her green really good here. All right. What does that say? Can you read it, love? I can't see it.
2.5 ounces.
2.5 ounces.
2 pounds, 5 ounces.
No. It can't be pounds. The big snakes don't even weigh a pound.
71 grams.
71 grams. Okay. That's a good. So what's that, like a little over 2 ounces? 71 grams.
2.5 ounces.
2.5 ounces. So that was right in the first place. So it's good that we double checked. So little Peo weighs 2.5 ounces. I wish we would have weighed her when she was born, but we actually never even thought to. We were just so excited to get her. So I am going to measure her now the best I can. We'll just set her right down there. And I'll move the scale right down here. And also, I did bring this. This is her second shed right here. Her first shed is all like really skinny and crinkly because that one also, I was away when she shed. So I didn't actually get to get it out and puff it up. And I forgot to tell Larry about how I like to do that. So he just took it out. So we don't actually have a good first shed to determine her length. And I do find that the sheds seem to be on average about 10% longer than the actual animals. And that's only on the 2 animals that I actually checked that with back when I wanted to know how much bigger the sheds were. So sweet thing, can you stretch out for us? Let's see if we can get her to uncoil here. And the big snakes usually poop before I feed them every single time because I put them in the rain chamber. But Peo can go in the rain chamber a bunch of times, and she doesn't actually poop after every meal, after maybe every couple meals. So, but she's an excellent digester. She does everything like she's supposed to. Plus way stuff she's not supposed to do, like being so relaxed around people. That's definitely unique to Peo. All right, I need a little something on this to keep it from falling down. That'll work, eh? All right, Peo, you're going the wrong way. Can we make you go? Actually, I do know how to make her go that way. And it would be to just set something here for her to look at. All right, little sweetie, look. All right, so she's starting at about the 1 inch. So I'm gonna say she's about a little more than 22 inches. Just over 22 inches. And that's just approximate, you know, with this. She may stretch out more. So while we're just watching her, I'm just gonna let her do what she wants. I'm definitely not gonna stretch her out because I think that would be stressful for her. But do you guys see this little tiny tail right here? On emerald tree boas, you can actually use the tail to tell a male from a female in most cases. And the way you do that is, let's see if I can kind of turn her a little bit this way. Right here, wait, let me get a little bit adjusted just a little better here. Okay. This is what we call the cloaca. Are you able to see it? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the cloaca, that's where they, you know, poop and everything. And snakes have like a bird. They do their poop and their pee all in one. And it's called urates. And they're just like a, you know, kind of a hard white ball mixed with their poop. And it all comes out at one time right there. And they only do that like once each meal. So the adults only do that like every 3 to 4, 5 weeks, depending on how much we feed them. And they only do it because we put them in the rain chamber. But these guys can go multiple meals without digesting, without pooping. So that's another thing that makes them very easy to care for. All right, so right here at the cloaca, when we see their little tail looking like what I say a pencil, which means that it gets like real thin right there. So after the cloaca, there's a significant difference in the girth of the tail. And when it looks like that, that is a female. And when we have a male, then the girth after the cloaca is the same as the girth right above the cloaca. And the tail kind of tapers off more into a carrot shape. Thanks to my friend Igor for teaching me that. And Igor said the carrot shape is most likely a male, and the skinny tail like this that looks like a pencil is more likely a female. And even a picture that I posted of Peo the other day, a friend on Facebook said, oh, definitely looks like a female. So we had been calling Peo a he until we knew otherwise. And everybody, Peo is a she, our sweet, precious little girl. We have never taken her to the vet. We've actually never taken any of our animals outside of this house to a vet clinic. Although some animals have had fecal or cloaca swab tests for different things. And none of these captive bred animals. That's only for some wild caught northern emeralds that we took in for rehabilitation and rescue, and just out of love so that they could live in our Happy Basins heaven. And the northerns do stay in a different room than our basins, although they're perfectly healthy and they don't have to. All right, I'm just gonna have a quick look over my list here that I printed out of things that people have asked me. See if there's anything that I'm missing. As far as any challenges or triumphs, pretty much what I said at the beginning. We struggled to get Peo to eat, and a huge triumph is that this little animal will eat anything, anytime. You have to be, like I said, we had to quit feeding her the leftovers from the babies because she just kept eating it. So she is a very good eater. And as far as being in the rain chamber, if you guys have seen any of the videos of Peo in the rain chamber, you can very clearly see that she loves being in the rain chamber. Her temperament speaks for itself. You guys can see exactly how she is. And here is a good question somebody asked. Does she show signs of intelligence? Yes, very much so. I would say that even just the fact that she knows that she likes to sleep under her mist, and anytime we take her out and I try to put her like up high by the heat, especially after she eats, I might try to make her sit up by the heat. She doesn't want to. She only just wants to be in the spot in her enclosure where the mister hits the hardest. And even one day I went in there and she was sleeping somewhere she'd never slept before. And so I was wondering why she wasn't, just because she always sleeps in her mister, and found that the mister had gotten bumped and was turned, and it was hitting in the new spot where she was sleeping. So yes, she definitely shows signs of intelligence. She's extremely inquisitive. She likes to check out everything that's going on. And you know, the fact that she seems to have zero lizard brain, or bird brain as Candace calls it, just really tells me how intelligent she is. Because a lot of these animals may feel nervous or striky just at the beginning of handling, just because they have a lizard brain, meaning that their natural instincts kick in. Well, Peo does not seem to have that natural instinct to be defensive or afraid. She is just extremely comfortable right here with us. All right, let's see. We have, I think I answered all of the questions. Has she met any guests yet? Well, yes, I told you, we already don't even know how many different hands have held this baby. We give tours here at Happy Basins where people get to spend time with our iguana and our tortoises and play with the hamsters, and then come down here and hold all of the animals. And Peo has just become one of those animals that everybody gets to hold. And of course, you know, if some of our visitors are younger or maybe a little rougher, they may not hold Peo. But for the most part, everybody gets to hold Peo. Plans to be part of the ambassador program. Yes, Peo is already an ambassador, absolutely, for sure. And what does it feel like to see Peo growing up? Like I said, I don't know how I'm going to feel when Peo turns green. You know, my daughter's 32 now, and when she was 18, she moved out of the house. I never went through that empty nest syndrome. It was more like empty nest celebration for me. But with this little animal, watching her turn green, it just feels like she's growing up. Like, I don't even know what to say, but I know she's just going to become more and more precious, and she's never going to stop being so loving. I know that. So when she turns green and grows up, I'm still going to feel, I'm sure I'll just keep feeling more love for her. Stories or sweet moments that I have with Peo. This right here. And actually, every time I feed Peo from my hands is such a special moment for me. I positively love feeding her. It just feels real motherly. So I guess my most special moments with her are when she's eating from my hands, or I'll just set her on my lap and put the little food just right down like on my belly, and she'll just take it right off my belly. She's just, like I said, she's just so comfortable. And somebody asked me what I learned from Peo as far as moving forward with new babies. And a lot of you know that one of the biggest things I learned with Peo was keeping the mother in the right temperature. So our last litter, the mother was made to stay up by her heat panel. She didn't have to be made. She just wanted to, unlike Isis, who always wanted to sleep in the cooler part of her enclosure. So that mother stayed right up by her heat panel and had a full litter of beautiful, healthy babies at 153 days. She went by the book. And now we're have another animal who may be getting ready to have babies. We'll know after she is having her post-ovulation shed right now. She had a huge ovulation. So we're pretty sure that she is pregnant, but it's still up in the air, and we'll find out. And we will do her exactly like we did with Jormungandr, making sure that she stays, in her heated area and not giving her too many options like we did with Isis. Another thing that I learned from Peo was the assist feeding. Even though the current babies don't all need assist feeding, I don't even know who does and who doesn't, because I love to feed them. So if one of them doesn't eat, I just assist them the next morning. But learning how to assist feed and being confident in my ability to do it, and how to be very gentle. Peo's so patient and has just really taught me a lot about how to work with these babies. And if I ever did have a baby who didn't eat, I'm fully confident that I would be able to nourish that baby with assist feeding. So you guys, I think I pretty much covered everything that you've asked me. So if you have more questions, just put them in the comments of this video, and I will come back and answer those when I make another video. Peo, do you want to say goodbye to your family? Poseidon, Aphrodite, Osiris. Do you want to say goodbye? I love that little profile, you guys. Another quick shot at her green color coming in. She's going to be green before we know it. It actually starts and then it happens really fast. So it could literally be like 1 week or 2 weeks and Peo will be completely changed. All right, you guys, thanks for joining in. Bye.